Hi guys, we are going to be talking about change of base in logarithm, and I just want to quickly recall, look at the problem we have in front of us, but I'm going to quickly recall what we said we need to do when we're to change a base. So let's say you're given log A in base B and you need to change this to a base in X. What this simply gives you is log A in base X divided by log B in base X. As simple as that. Now looking at the problem we have here, log X in base 2, log X in base 4, log X in base 16. I want to change everything to carry the same base and I pick base 2. So what I'm simply going to do is to bring out this one. So first of all, let me put this. This is a kind of recall. Now log X in base 4 to base 2 is going to simply give me log X in base 2 divided by log 4 in base 2. Now I'm going to simplify this further. Log X in base 2 is log, of course, base 2, 2 raised to power 2. And this is also log X in base 2 over 2 log 2 in base 2. Then remember one of the laws. Please, if you've not seen that video, kindly check in the playlist. You'll see the video on laws of logarithm. So one of the laws has it that log of the same number to the same base gives us 1. So log 2 in base 2 is simply going to give us 1. That means 2 times 1 is 2. So I have log X in base 2 over 2 times 1. That simply gives me, at the end of the day, that has been simplified to log X in base 2. So everything about log X in base 4 is simply half log X in base 2. Then I'm going to do the same for log 16. So I have log X, sorry, in base 16. Log X in base 16 is going to give me log X to base 2 over log 16 to base 2. And that's going to give me log X to base 2 over log 2 raised to power 4 in base 2. And this is going to be log X to base 2 over 4 log 2 to base 2, which is also going to give me log X base 2 over 4. Remember, log 2 in base 2 is 1. So I have 1 over 4 log X to base 2. So that's the expression. Now I'm going to move, remember we are to add up everything. We have to sum up everything. So this is going to give me log X base 2 plus log X in base 4, which has now changed to this half log X to base 2 plus log X to base 16, which has now changed to this 1 over 4 log X to base 2 equals to 21 over 4. So what am I going to do next? Now, remember also one of the laws of indices. We said that when you're given the product law, we said when you're given X, maybe log X times Y in base A, is simply going to give us log X in base A plus log X. So now I'm going to move from front to the back this time. So this is simply going to give me log base 2. This time I am going to take this as this log X raised to power 1. Now, all of this, I'm going to change them to multiplication. If you remember that law, this now is going to be half raised to power half. If you remember that law, well, this is also going to be 1 over 4. And then everything is equal to 21 over 4. So that is it. Then the next thing we do is, okay, I'm going to try to simplify this indices. So it's going to give me log to the base of 2 into x raised to power. Now, let me take the LCM of this fraction because this whole thing is supposed to now be added as 1 over 2. Okay, sorry, let me just, um, yes, let me add them up. So this is going to give me x. No, let me just put it somewhere here so you remember. Recall one of the laws of indices. Recall that if we have x raised to power a times x raised to power b, as long as they have the same base, it becomes x raised to power a plus b. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So this is now x raised to power 1 plus 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. So that is exactly what I'm trying to do here. Then this now becomes, taking the LCM, I'm going to get 1 goes into 4 times. So this is going to be 4 plus 2 plus 1. At the end of the day, we say this is equal to 21 over 7. So, so that is that. Then the next thing we need to do is to equate it to, we're going to make it, so this then becomes log x raised to power 7 over 4 equals to 21 over 4. Of course, in base 2. Yeah, coming back from this particular question. Now, what do we do? Remember the law that connects indices with logarithm. It says if you have something like this, then the base here simply is going to become the base for your logarithm and for your indices, and then it carries this. So this, at the end of the day, we're going to get in 2 raised to power 21 over 4 to give us equal to x over 4. So that's what we have. Now that we have this, we can try to simplify because we are interested in getting to know the value for x. So what's our value for x? Now I'm going to multiply both sides by 4 over 7 to take off what we have here. So I'm going to multiply through by 4 over 7. When I say multiply through, actually the powers, multiply the powers by 4 over 7. So let me just try that. Then this becomes 2 raised to power 21 over 4 times 4 over 7 equals to x raised to power 7 over 4 times 4 over 7. Now, this cancels this cancels this cancels this. 7 here is 1, 7 here is 3. So 2 raised to power 3 equals to x. Therefore, x equals to 8. So that is the final answer to this particular problem. Then quickly, we are going to solve another one. We have a problem here. This question says log 32 to base 0.25. What are we going to do? Now, I need to change this particular base. But before doing that, let me try to change the base into something a lot friendlier. So this is log 32 to base. 0.25 is the same as 1 over 4. Okay. So now that I've changed it to a fraction, I'm going to make it, I want to change this to having a base of 2. So this is going to become log 32 to base 2 all over log 1 over 4 to base 2. Now, what do I do? This 32, I'm going to break it down to log 32 is now going to give me, log 32 is the same as 2 raised to power 5. So I'm going to write 2 raised to power 5 in base 2 all over log, of course, this is 4 raised to power minus 1, if you remember the laws of indices that we treated. So I'm going to reduce this again to log 2 raised to power 5 to base 2 all over log 2 raised to power minus 2 to base 2. Now, this now becomes 5 log 2 to base 2 all over minus 2 log 2 to base 2. And remember, log of a number to the same base is 1. So at the end of the day, our answer is minus 5 over 2 because this becomes 1, this becomes 1. Then when we multiply, we are left with minus 5 over 2. Then this final problem says log 16 in base square root of 2 is equal to x. So what do we do? The same thing is very similar to what we just finished working on. I'm going to try to change this to a base of 2. Now, log 16 is, this is going to become log 16 base 2 over log square root of 2 to base 2 equals to x. Log 16 is the same as 2 raised to power 4 to base 2 all over, while the square root of 2 is the same thing as 2 raised to power half, then to base 2 equals to this. Now, this is then going to become 4 log 2 to base 2 over half log 2 to base 2. Then we said that everything here is equal to x. Then remember the law says that log 2 to base 2 equals to 1, log 2 to base 2 equals to 1. So we are simply left with 4 all over 1 over 2 equals to x. Now that we know the value for this, if you try to divide this 4 by half, it simply means that you're going to be multiplying 4 by 2. And that is simply going to become 8. So our final answer is x equal to 8. Thank you.